The top 17 are here in Hawaii to compete in the season finale here on the beautiful island of Maui. The world's best surfers are staying within striking distance of the magical Honolua Bay with their chance to surf a truly perfect wave and compete for the Target Maui Pro title. Hi, I'm Joe Turpel. Welcome to Dawn Patrol. Today on the show, we have a very special announcement for the Billabong Pipe Masters in loving memory of Andy Irons. His brother Bruce is getting the wild card in the event. Also, we'll dive into the world title story with Courtney Conlogue and Carissa Moore going head-to-head here at Honolua Bay. And we'll talk about the big matchups, and we'll obviously see if we will be getting underway. Today, day 3 of the waiting period. Joe alongside a couple of my heroes. I mean that. Rosie, former CT competitor, calls Honolua Bay one of her favorite stops. Morning.
Good morning.
Potts, former world champ. Yesterday was another flat day, but a lot of the women, Rosie, started driving around this beautiful island to find some waves.
Exactly. I mean, there's so many waves to kind of go around and discover. You got Hana about 2.5 hours away. You can go find a couple waves, couple waterfalls, bamboo forest. So there's a lot to be done.
Well, we kind of just leaked it in the intro there. The big news, Potts, coming in. Bruce Irons, former pipe master, getting the call up as with a replacement spot in the Pipe Masters. How was your reaction hearing that news?
Oh, I think it's relevant. I mean, you know, Bruce is he's got that kind of surfing that really suits pipeline, whether it's backdoor or whether it is pipe. I mean, he's going to rattle some cages. From what I hear, he's in good form. He's surfing well. He's fit. He's ready. So it's exciting news.
When you think about Bruce Irons, he's an icon at Pipeline. When you think about his big performances, is the late 90s, the early 2000s, where he made 4 Pipe Master finals, including a win back in 2001. He's one of the guys that gets any wave that he wants in a free surf, Rosie.
He definitely is, you know, a specialist out at Pipeline and someone that's so well respected by his peers and, you know, the world over just because of the way that he performs at this wave. And, you know, Pipeline, it's such a gauntlet, especially the Billabong Pipe Masters, because you throw these wild cards into the mix that are such especially surfers at the wave, and it really just makes it that much more challenging.
Well, Potts, member, 5 years, full-time on tour. He wanted to leave on his own terms, but when you could pick one wave to watch Bruce Irons surf in, it would be Pipeline.
Absolutely. Pipeline, Chopu, you know, waves of consequence, I think, is when he steps up. You know, and I tell you what, the guys that have got to surf against him coming up in this event, there's going to be world title implications, and they've got to deal with Bruce Irons out there. I don't want to be those guys, that's for sure.
A huge announcement. Remember, the Billabong Pipe Masters in memory of Andy Irons will start December 8th and go all the way to the 20th, potentially. We're hoping for some solid swell to decide this world title race. Now, getting back to this one, let's get the official call for the morning of the Target Maui Pro as we say good morning to Strider and Jesse.
Thanks, boys. Yeah, well, the wind's blowing, the sun's out. It's a beautiful morning here. How have you been? Have you been in the water?
I have not been in the water this morning, but, you know, great day yesterday. It was nice to have a lay day and to check out more of the island, but, yeah, a little bit of wind.
How's the swell looking? We got, you know, some waves on the way. I know there could be some waves coming.
Yeah, I think there are going to be waves for us in this waiting period. We're going to have to just wait a few more days. Right now it's pretty flat. You know, there's nothing on offer, so we're not going to run the event today. I am in hope, though, that we are going to get something, and I know the Bay will deliver for us, so we're just going to have to wait.
Well, there you go. The forecast does look good down the line, but today no competition.
Thank you very much, Strider and Jesse Miley-Dyer. As you can tell, it's flat. A quick call there. Good place to go snorkeling, but obviously everyone's been driving all around this island to find a couple of waves. When we think about Surfline giving us the forecast for this waiting period, they are telling us, Potts, that we do have something to look forward to.
That we do. There's a little bump on Friday. You know, so we're going to wait. Obviously, it's not a place where we can roll the dice. You got to, you know, the waves have to come here at Honolua Bay. It's definitely one of the best waves in the world. And as Jesse said, there is prospects later in the week. So we just got to play the patient game. Wait, and I mean, as you look right there, that's more zeros than I've ever seen in a forecast. That's for sure.
0 to 0. I've never seen that before. Well, it's flat here, but we're waiting for something kind of late November, early December, where we'll see that mix of north-northwest and northwest. Kevin Wallace was saying, Rosie, it was a little kind of sketchy at first looking at it. They didn't want to count on it yet, but it's looking a little bit more promising now.
I like that optimism, and you think about Maui and you think about this wave, the girls actually have a longer waiting period just for this event because, you know, that swell really needs to creep in here, and when it does, it lights up and it's a beautiful wave.
Well, now our favorite part is really to dive into this exciting world title race with Carissa Moore taking on Courtney Conlogue here in the final stop of the season. We'll dive into the story of Courtney Conlogue coming up next on Dawn Patrol. Dawn, good morning. Welcome to Dawn Patrol here at the Target Maui Pro, the 10th stop of the Samsung Galaxy Championship Tour. It is a beautiful morning. No waves here at Honolua Bay, so the contest has been called off. Joe Chappelle with Rosie Hodge and Martin Potter as we think about this story for Courtney Conlogue. Let's really get caught up, though, first in her headspace. So she hasn't really left anything out of her head thinking about this world title. That yellow jersey meant a whole lot to her this season, and we got to catch up with her just the other day.
To be at the top, you have to be able to adapt to anything that's thrown your way. That's what makes the champion at the end of the season. You have all these different conditions, variables. Boards don't come, boards break, you get hurt. It's who the best athlete was for that season. Who went out there and was able to adapt to whatever was thrown their way. I was so happy when I got that yellow jersey. It's my first time ever getting to that #1 rating. Feeling what it felt like to be on the top. That was a really cool moment in my season. It was that evolution, you know. I went from starting from my low rating at the start of the season to getting on top, and then it was just a seesaw battle from there. The last event's your last shot. I think everything that I've done in this process has allowed me to be in this race the whole time. It's been an exciting journey, you know. I trained my whole life to be where I'm at right now. It's just been such a great experience this year. I've just been having fun and enjoying the challenges, the highs, the lows. It's been a great season, but it's definitely not close to over. We have a lot to do at this last event.
The Californian with an opportunity to potentially clinch her first ever world title. Rosie Hodge, you remember when she had a wild card opportunity back here in '06. The waves were huge. She was about 14, and she really started building her global profile. What's that special connection that she has with Honolua Bay?
Well, that's the thing, you know, getting that wild card into this event means she's got a bit of experience out here. She can draw on those memories when she, you know, lit it up as a little girl out here. And now, you know, go in the hunt for a first world title. I mean, you look at those kinds of packages of Courtney and you just realize, you know, this is where it gets exciting. This event is all coming down to that hard work that she's put in, you know, her whole career, that injury she suffered last year. This is what it comes down to, Potts.
Yep,
Potts, when you think about this wave, what are Courtney's strengths? What can she take advantage of out here at the Bay?
I think if it's the bigger it is, the better it is for Courtney. But in saying that, you know, she won in Portugal in small conditions, so she's learning to adapt. And I think coming off last year's result, semi-final, she got a 10-point ride. It just proves that this wave definitely suits her style of surfing. She's got that big rail game, and this is the wave we're talking about. You know, the bigger it gets, the more she attacks it. She's got more power than anyone else, and I think she's worked very hard to put herself where she's at right now. And I don't think anyone works harder than Courtney Conlogue.
Courtney Conlogue last season had local boy Micah Nickens in her corner. Micah was comparing that wave to a mini Jaws wave, and she attacked it off the top, got a 10, and took out Stephanie Gilmore in the quarterfinals. She was so dangerous coming off that injury. It seems like that injury could have been a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, definitely. You know, she suffered that kind of, that injury, and then that really just puts everything into perspective. You know, she really set her mind to that goal and just really went for it. So I love that about Courtney. You just watch her right now and she just lays it all out on the line. You can see that emotion in her surfing, and you're really on that journey with her the whole time.
Well, we talked about her strengths, obviously really comfortable in big surf. Potts, let's flip the coin.
Yep.
Anything she needs to work on? What's she going to be challenged against here?
Well, I don't think she's got to work on anything. I think the only thing that might work against Courtney is the fact that she hasn't been here before. She hasn't been in a world title race like this. Coming into the last event, it's foreign territory for her, as opposed to what Carissa's got. Carissa's been there before, she's done it. So I think there's going to be those nerves that trying to identify what she's got to do at that point in time. So if there isn't a disadvantage for her, it's that.
Well, thinking about her role this year, putting herself in the world title race, she had the matchup with Carissa Moore back at Margaret River. We thought it was going to be a runaway world title year for Carissa, coming off 2 back-to-back wins. Courtney, taking advantage of the size and power of Margaret River, was able to do some damage. Rosie, if it stays small, how do you like Courtney's small wave game?
Well, that's, Courtney mentions that she's able to adapt, so that's really her strength. She is really powerful in bigger surf, but then smaller waves like we saw in Cascais in Portugal, she was able to really hunt down those waves. So I like Courtney's, she's so well-rounded, and I really like that about her. It's not a flash in the pan that she's in the world title hunt this year. I think she's here to stay. She's going to be, in that top echelon looking for world titles throughout her career.
And Brazil was small as well, so, she's perfecting that ability to be able to adapt.
Gilmore noticing Courtney Conlogue figured something out to get that winning feeling 3 times this season to enter this event number 2 in the world. Well, Courtney is challenged against 2-time world champ Carissa Moore for that first world title. We'll go into the Carissa Moore story right after this on Dawn Patrol. Good morning and welcome to Dawn Patrol. We're here on the beautiful island of Maui, the second largest of the Hawaiian Islands, here at the Honolua Bay, one of the best waves in the entire world. Welcome to Dawn Patrol. Joe Chappelle with Rosie Hodge and Potts, both talented surfers, but really good at snorkeling as well when it's really flat. I've seen you guys in action.
No, you're the best at it. I mean, come on, I learned everything from you.
You got to give me something. Well, guys, we talked about Courtney Conlogue in the last segment. Now focusing on a surfer that's proven herself a couple of times. 2-time world champ Carissa Moore says sometimes self-doubt is her biggest challenge.
I love coming to Maui to end the season. It's home for me. It's a beautiful place. Honolua Bay is so special. It's powerful. It's challenging. So it's a really great place to decide a world title and crown a champion. I think my win here last year definitely gave me a little bit of confidence and rhythm going into the next season. It's been an incredible experience this year fighting for a world title. There's been a lot of highs, but there's been a lot of lows, and it's just been a roller coaster of emotions. I've been trying to keep as level about it as possible. The title race this year is definitely different. First of all, the person I'm in the race with is Courtney Conlogue, and I've never been in a title race with her before, and I've learned a lot from her, and I think she's really pushed me to perform at my best too. Courtney is a fierce competitor. She's mentally tough, she's positive, she's learned how to let go of losses and move on and come back, and I know that she's ready for this last event. I'm constantly thinking about, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing enough? Is my head in the right place? think it's in my nature to constantly question myself, and self-doubt is a huge thing for me. It's a constant battle inside my head trying to just talk myself into a positive place. It would mean the world to me to win another world title. Pretty much whoever goes the furthest is going to win this thing, and it's really close. So it's exciting. It's exciting to think about, but at the same time really nerve-wracking, because all your hard work could either pay off, or you could go home and have to just get back to the drawing board for next year. But either way, I'm really stoked and proud of how this season has gone for me, and it's going to be a really exciting finish.
A much different story from last season for Carissa Moore when she wasn't in the world title race. She was devastated for that, but it fired her up to take out this event and then win the following two at the start of this season over in Australia. Rosie, are you surprised that Carissa Moore deals with self-doubt when she's this talented?
Well, Carissa's just such a humble person, so I think, you look at all her accolades and everything that she's done throughout her career, she's just an amazing talent. But then, to hear that she has that self-doubt, that almost is inspiring to me, just to see someone that's so talented be so open about it and just so vulnerable. So I like that about her.
You think about what she's done, 16 CT event wins in her career. This is her 6th year on tour, 2 world titles. The year she wasn't winning, she finished 3rd in the world, always dominant and dangerous, and especially at waves like this at Honolua Bay. You think about her role in this POTS and what her strengths could be on this wave. What do you think about for Carissa?
I mean, her strengths, she's won it last year, so she's got that going for her, but I think she's in a really good place at the moment. And you talk about that self-doubt, that's just a sign of a champion. That's a sign of her just constantly wanting to improve, wanting to get better, wanting to fix those little chinks. And there has been that. Both Courtney and Carissa have had those moments this year where they've faltered, but then come back and sort of, righted the ship, so to speak. But, Carissa's talent in this wave, she's got that ability to mix it up. She's got so many moves, and I don't think we've actually seen the best from her yet.
That's right. We think about last season. Carissa and Courtney had a matchup in the semifinals. Carissa was able to take that win and take out Tyler in the final. You like seeing Courtney in bigger surf. What do you like seeing Carissa Moore in, Rosie?
I just think she's so technically sound. You watch her on a wave like this that's got a lot of open face and maybe a barrel section. I think she's really going to step up in that kind of surf. I think we've been talking about Courtney being able to really dominate in bigger surf, but I think Carissa, given the chance, she could look really good.
So thinking about these two surfers, Courtney with 3 wins this season, Carissa with 3 wins, all coming down to the Target Maui Pro. And there's a potential opportunity for a surf-off. We're crossing our fingers for that. But we want to hear from you. Who is going to win the 2015 World Surf League title? Hashtag go Carissa or hashtag go Courtney if you think that California is going to take this one out. Now my favorite opportunity, putting Rosie and POTS on the spot. We talked about everything this morning, starting with you, Rosie. Who's going to clinch?
I'm not going to choose, Joe.
Whoa.
I'm totally sitting on the fence.
You have to choose.
No, I like them equally, and I'd honestly be equally as happy to see either one of them. I know, it's boring. It's super boring, but
You're not
to be honest,
anybody's feelings.
I know I'm not going to, but I can't even choose.
Okay, well, it's POTS. Who's going to win?
Hashtag who knows. I mean, it's
wow.
It's one of those things. But if you look at stats, Carissa, the size of the swell, I want to see it 8 to 10 foot, and then it's anyone's game. But I think if the swell is predicted what's coming, I think Carissa's going to maybe get the edge.
Well, guys, me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens on Twitter. And put your votes in and put down some serious opinions. Who's going to win this world title race? We'll come up next. We'll talk about the heats to watch here in Maui.
It's one of the best waves in the world. Honolua Bay really puts the dream to the dream tour. When you're driving down the dirt road, you park along the cliff, you see the waves coming through from the top of the point all the way to the cave, and it's just really special. Being from Hawaii, it's really special just to island up over here and be able to surf on Maui, and definitely feel at home a little more. I'm so close to home, and just the feeling and the people around you, it's different here, and I love to be back. Multiple sections here at Honolua, and you have the point, and then you have the middle of the cave where the conus usually runs, and then you have keiki bowls. This place really likes the northwest swell, and that's where the cave works and has the barrel and the power, and the keiki bowl kind of comes at you, and you get a really good end section hit, and north swells really kind of break to the point more. What I love the most about Honolua is just the way it shifts and gives you a challenge every day and every swell. And it could be playful, it could be powerful, it's shifty, it's just an amazing wave to experience, and to see huge sets rolling through and a barrel just coming from the cave all the way into keiki bowls is just an amazing sight.
Thank you, Malia Manuel, the Hawaiian, sharing us her version of the GoPro breakdown. Remember, the Hero 4 session cameras are out. So small, so stoked. Those things are incredible. We've talked about the world title race. We wanted to hear votes from you guys. Thinking about Carissa versus Courtney. There's a whole other story to talk about with requalification, women that just want to finish in the top 10.
Yep.
Thinking about the heats to watch. Remember, Tyler Wright was dangerous last season. Can't wait to see her out in the water that first heat of round 1.
Definitely.
Well, that's my heat to watch. I think Tyler, she's not in that world title race. She's got something to prove. World title races start now for next year, so I think Tyler's going to come out firing on all cylinders. Tatiana Western Webb and Dimity. Dimity's got something to prove as well. Nothing to lose. It's going to be a great heat.
Lakey, Sage, Malia Manuel. That was a heat you brought up earlier this morning. What are you seeing there, Rosie?
Well, you spoke about qualification, world titles, and then own personal goals. I think a lot of the ladies, they want to finish top 3, top 5, and those 3 girls, they're really looking to solidify their place for next year, get their roll on, like you mentioned, Potts, and, they've got a lot to prove.
So remember, we also have a trials heat to decide. Last year we got to see wildcard Paige Alms in the event, dealing with a little injury. Now we're going to see some younger names come up, even seeing the name of Carissa Moore's sister, Kayla Moore, in the draw, and also a big name like Dax McGill coming from Oahu. Some of the next generation, Rosie, trying to get into the main event here.
Yeah, I like that about the wild cards. You get that opportunity to surf in the trials, surf against your heroes. Like you mentioned, Carissa could surf against her sister, which could be interesting. World title implications from round 1.
Yeah, I like it, and that's what wildcards should be. The next generation. Give them a little taste of what's to come, and throw a cat amongst the pigeons. These girls have got nothing to lose, and they could be the spoilers, really.
Can't wait for a potential start. Still some waves on the way, and we're going to give Rosie one last chance to pick her favorite in the world title race before we go.
Carissa and Courtney.
Carissa and Courtney, both of them.
It's a tie.
It's going to be fun.
It's a surf-off.
Remember, you guys, I tell you.
I just want a surf-off.
It's
Let's have a
tight.
surf-off.
Yeah. We want to hear from you. Hashtag go Carissa or hashtag go Courtney. Let us know who you think is going to win this world title. Coming up tomorrow on Dawn Patrol, we will have Sally Fitzgibbons joining us here on the desk, and we'll see you then.